Blitz was 13, and everything seemed coming up for him. However, something happened. The incident. We all know what happened at the circus. He saw everything burnt away, his hopes, his dreams, and his family gone. And his father pushed him away. He lost his sister. He lost his brother. So, he decided to run away. Blitz didn't have anything anymore. He had nothing. As Blitz ran away, he was alone. He would spend a couple weeks on the streets, starving, having nothing but scraps, and begging for food. And one day, something would change, however. As Charlie was walking, she would see this 13-year-old boy and say, "Hey, what's your name?" He would look up and say, Blitz, he would say, as he looked down. The name Blitzo was over. No one cared about Blitzo. It's all about Blitz now. As he sighed, Charlie would then smile and say, "Well, Blitz, why are you living on the street?" He would look and say, "I destroyed everything. No one wants me anymore. Just leave me." Blitz had no idea who he was talking to. Since he was just a kid, Blitz had no idea about the politics of his region. Since he was a kid, he had no idea who the princess was. Even though she was famous, he lived in a circus and entertained people, so he didn't really know about her. And it's not like she was talked about a lot. It's not like people didn't know about her. She didn't do much. Charlie was the princess. And without her big hotel project, no one really knew what she was doing at this point. Charlie would smile and say, let me give you a home. As she took his hand, he said, "Why are you doing this? I'm a failure." She said, "No, you're not. You're just a kid who made a mistake. Follow me, and I'll give you a good home. I just moved out not too long ago myself." Charlie would bring Blitz to a mansion and spoil him. And well, Blitz had a great time. He enjoyed every second of it. And well, being with Charlie made him feel special. It made him feel important. Months would pass as Blitz got used to his everyday life. One day, Blitz would say, "How do you have all this money?" Charlie would say, "You don't know?" "Know what?" "I'm the princess," Charlie said, of this entire place. "Wait, that means your dad is king? It's Lucifer?" Charlie would say, "Yep, Lucifer's my dad, and I'm Charlie." "Oh, that makes sense. Wait, what? But royalties don't care about us. Why are you..." But then he remembered something. A royal who did care. He was reminded of Stolas. He hasn't thought of him in years, but that was a long time ago. Stolas probably forgot about him by now. Anyway, it was time for him to focus on what's in front of him. As he looked at Charlie, "Listen, Charlie. Charlie would say, "Because you are someone in need, and you're my son now. You should meet Grandpa. He's not as bad as people think he is. Honestly, I think he would like you a lot." Blitz would say, "Yeah, I hope he does." As the years passed, Blitz would slowly turn into an adult. He would live with Charlie most of his entire life, and he would have no dream of starting his own business. After all, he made peace with himself. He didn't have to survive on the streets. He didn't have to run away from everything. Well, he did, but he was able to build something new. And well, he was above a lot of people, and that honestly brought him confidence. But he also was ashamed that he couldn't reach it himself. He was ashamed that he needed someone to take pity on him, but he wouldn't tell anyone that to their face. As time went on, Blitz became a more valued and loved member of the family. However, something would happen. One day, Lucifer would be at a meeting, and he'd bring Blitz along with, would look up at Lucifer. "Why are you bringing me along?" Lucifer would laugh. "You know why, because I love you. And it's time you show everyone who's boss. Just because you're an imp doesn't mean you're any less royalty. You are a proud morning star, and I want you to tell them this. This will show them who's boss." As Lucifer gave him a piece of paper, Blitz would read it and say, "All this paper says is, I love my grandpa. I am better than you all. Suck it." "Well, just tell him that." I'm not gonna..." Blitz would sigh. As Lucifer would say, "Kiddin', kiddin', kiddin'," as he grabbed the paper. And instead he was like, "Geez, I thought that was a great thing to say. Oh, well, you don't want to lose him. He is your grandson, after all. Lilith left you. He is all you have. Play cool, play cool, play cool. Oh, well, why don't you just let me take it from here?" As he walked in, all the great 7 deadly sins were there. As they were all looking on, something wasn't right. You see, not only were the 7 deadly sins there, but so were high nobility, like the Goetia. Icon, Stolas's father, was there, as Lucifer made an announcement that this imp was a prince, and that you were all made to respect him. And well, some took it well, some didn't take it. Since Osmodeus already had an imp lover in our timeline, he would honestly take this pretty well. And so would Beelzebub, but a few wouldn't, and the Goetias would hate this. However, Pycon had an idea. He remembered that his son was quite fond of him, so if they can get them to be close, this could be great. Pycon hasn't seen Stolas in years, ever since he married him off. This could go greatly. So he said, do you remember Stolas? As everyone was looking at each other, the Goetias were barely around here. After all, they were the lowest members. And they dare ask the prince a question? They were all intrigued by this. As then, Blitz said, yeah, I do. Do you want to see him? It's been a while. I'm sure he misses you, Pycon said. As Blitzo said, well, yeah, I would like to see Stolas. Pycon had a plan. You see, he wanted to arrange Blitzo's marriage into his family. He didn't know who to marry into yet. Probably some girl, since, he wouldn't do it with some guy. I mean, he would for power. Kind of like, what Moxie's dad tried to do. But he would try to get them to get along. As then, Blitz and Stolas got together. And they were happy. They played and had fun, just like they were kids. And he got to see Octavia. He got to see how he was doing. But he also saw something, that he was unhappy with Stella. As the day went on, eventually, Stolas and Blitz would be alone, as Stolas would say, so, what are you doing here? Blitz would sigh and say, listen, your daughter is an infant, right? But you don't seem happy with Stella. Was this forced on you? Stolas would say, yeah. He would get up and say, I'm sorry. You deserve better. And I need to come clean. Look at Stolas and sigh. And well, Stolas would say, what are you talking about? The first time we met, I stole a lot of things from you. That pirate game wasn't a game. My father told me to. Stolas laughed and said, you didn't think I knew that? I knew that. But I didn't care, because you were the only friend I ever had. Yeah, a friend. I'm sorry you had to marry Stella. At least you got a daughter out of it, right? I can tell you love her. Stolas would say, I do love her. I love my daughter more than anything. He sighed. As Blitz started to walk away, Stolas would grab Blitz's hand, as then Blitz would take this as a sign and kiss him. Stolas would say, whoa, I'm sorry, I thought this was well, it can be. Before you know it, the day would pass, and they both slept together. Blitz would leave, unsure of why he did that. He was so scared. If Stella found out, it could ruin his reputation. It could ruin everything. However, Stella would disappear. Pycon would hear about this, and well, even though he wasn't too fond of those types of people, him marrying Stolas could make him, become like royalty, move up even above the 7 deadly sins. So he definitely was going to do that. A month would pass, and well, something would happen. As Blitz was with Charlie, about to move out, Charlie would say, Blitz, you got a notice in the mail about marriage. What? Blitz would then spit out his water as he ran over and grabbed it, and it said Stolas wanted to marry him. He couldn't believe this. They just had a one-night stand. He said, what? But how is this possible? Charlie would say, calm down. We'll go and see. Charlie and Blitz went over to Stolas, as Stolas said, my dad is making it happen. Blitz would look at Stolas and say, we can stop this if you want. Stolas would say, what if we get married but we take it slow? We don't do anything for months. We just talk and get to know each other. Keep in mind, Blitz will be a totally different person since Charlie raised him. Blitz would look at him and say, you sure? Yeah. And then we'll slowly become something, or we won't, and we'll just call it off. What do you say? Won't your father be mad if we call it off? He will, but you're Lucifer's grandson and Charlie's son. He can't do anything against you. I'm worried about you. Stola says I'll be fine, I promise. What do you say? Do you want to love me? Blitzo would sigh and say yes, as Charlie said, yay!
I'm going to see my son get married. He's gonna get married. He's gonna get married. You're gonna look so cute in a little tuxedo. And oh my god. And Blitz would just laugh. As Blitz and Stolas got together, they would get married, and they would start to like each other slowly. And Blitz would be a great stepdad for Octavia. Octavia was 1 when this happened, so Octavia would think of Blitz like a dad. And yeah, IMP would never start. Blitz would help out with the hotel and all, but that would be a tale for another day.
That's where we're going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please let me know what you thought of this video. I love you all so much, and I'm so glad. I am so happy that I have an audience like you. Thank you all. Happy Pride Month, and I hope you have an amazing day. Mwah. You are all very special and unique. Keep it going, and slay queens.